Hello and thank you for joining us on the midweek edition of Journalist Hangout. I'm Ayodele Ozubakun. Today on the program, President Buhari meets with governors, security chiefs and measures to tackle insecurity. Asks them how Boko Haram gets weapons despite border closure. And later on the show, Journalist Hangout midweek special is on an Ogun State-born Unilag-trained chemical engineer who now builds armored vehicles for Nigeria and other African armed forces. I'll be hanging out with Babajide Kolade Otitoju, Gani Kaide Balogun, and Wale Adeye will be joining us via Skype. So if you're ready, let the hangout start now. Thank you for joining us. High-level parleys by the presidency to fashion out effective strategies to tackle worsening insecurity across Nigeria continues. President Muhammadu Buhari presided over an expanded National Security Council meeting involving security chiefs and state governors at the presidential villa, Abuja. Answers to a poser by President Buhari to them could be a key to ending Boko Haram insurgency and armed banditry in the country. He asked how the terrorists continue to acquire weapons despite closure of the Nigerian border. Babajide, let's talk about this meeting. This meeting basically is to review the security operations around that zone. And Mr. President was asking them that in spite of the closure of the border, our borders have been closed now, going to 8 months, to, if I can recollect, and that we still find insurgency bringing in, hardwares, very big-time hardwares into the military hardwares into the country to come and combat our military.
Well, I think we've said it. We've talked about how Boko Haram gets supplies of weapons before on this program, and a lot of the weapons that they use are from Libya. There's a thriving black market there. We all know how the NATO forces left Libya. Libya suddenly, one of the best organized countries in Africa, suddenly became like a failed state. Today, there is no
Central,
no government that could be said to be in charge in Libya. It's a situation in which the country has been carved out by warlords, different areas. So you can actually have control of the capital, but outside of the capital, other people are in control. So you can't really say that the government that is recognized internationally is in control, because wide expanse, a significant chunk of that country is in the hands of warlords. So, and there is NATO weapons that were supplied by NATO to the forces fighting Gaddafi. These guys are hungry. They are ready to sell NATO weapons in the black market. In fact, some of the weapons that Nigerian soldiers have seized from Boko Haram, you see clearly that they were not, that they had NATO written on them. And some of them are advanced grade of some of the weapons that we have. For example, some of the rocket-propelled grenades that they use are from NATO, including, of course, night vision goggles. So if you have some of these weapons, of course, you can really wreak havoc. So this is the situation. There's something happened on Sunday, last Sunday. The 4 Libyan men who usually supplied weapons to Boko Haram were trying to come into Nigeria through Niger Republic. But Nigerian forces fired at them, they killed them. I was reading the story before we got here. They killed those 4 Libyans, because Niger Republic too is not free from Boko Haram attacks. So you can understand why they were that vigilant. Before they got to the border with Nigeria, they were approaching the border, they were fired at. So they find a way to come in to our country, supply these people with the weapons that they need, and some weapons too can come through Mali. So Boko Haram has never been in short of weapons because of the porous nature of our borders. And when the president talks about borders, they are not supposed to use the
official border.
Yes. That's not where they will use. They have their own routes.
Several unmanned.
Yeah, the whole of that area. And you're looking at Borno North, for example. A huge portion of Borno North is ungoverned. A situation where a space of 185 kilometers, there are only 3 towns. So how do you police that area? Only 3 towns. Only 3 towns have people inside them. You get the point? And a lot of those communities, people have fled to Niger Republic. So Boko Haram will always get these weapons. They don't need to use your official land border. So we know now that those weapons come largely from Libya.
Wale Adeoye, what do you make of this situation? Mr. President has been meeting with governors of the from the northeast.
Yeah, I think the meeting was a very good development. At least it brought the stakeholders to rub minds to share ideas involving the state governors and the service chiefs. Because there are 2 levels of conflict we have in Nigeria. The one that is propelled by extremist groups, Boko Haram, ISWAP, and ISIS, which has led to low-intensity conflict in Northwest, and then now the Northeast, and then now to Northwest. We also have the southern parts of the country in some places where you have people, kidnapping for ransom in the Niger Delta and some parts of Southwest. So in all of these conflicts, arms are involved. So the president asked the same question that all of us has been asking. The question that we wanted him to provide an answer. He appeared also not to have an answer to it. He posed the question rhetorically that why should these arms still come into this country in spite of the border closures? I think it boils down to many factors. Apart from what Gide has said, there's also the element of corruption. When you have people at the patrol borders that are not nationalistic, that do not put the interests of the country at heart, they bribe them, they can bribe them and then bring in some of these weapons. And like as rightly said, apart from the crisis in Libya, the whole of Maghreb region is in a state of turmoil. If you talk of Mali, you talk of Niger, you talk of Burkina Faso, there are all sorts of armed conflicts going on there. So there are so many people that deal with arms who are mercenaries, who will come to Nigeria to fight, to earn a living. And some of them will also supply weapons, as a kind of business. So it means that trying to deal with this menace, Nigeria must consider the situation where they need to understand the conflict in the Maghreb region, its nature and its form, so that it's not a problem we can resolve on our own. It must also involve international partners, especially France, because these countries are French countries. The UK, France, we need a kind of bilateral relationship, a kind of intercontinental networking and coordination, so that this thing can be tackled, once and for all. So Nigeria needs to cooperate with the neighboring countries who are very weak. In any case, they are very weak institutions. They are not as strong as Nigeria. Their governments are very weak. So in some of these countries, there have been coups where the countries were brought down. So many of them are not as strong as Nigeria. So they are very porous, weak democratic institutions, and it allows a lot of armed groups to operate freely in this country. So I think in tackling these problems headlong, Nigeria really needs to work with our neighboring countries, especially the Francophone country, so that we can have a joint approach to dealing with the problem, once and for all. But I also think the question of intelligence is very important. It's not just about buying arms, military response. We need a very effective intelligence networking to trace the sources of these weapons and then to know the cartels that are behind the supply of these weapons to Nigeria. so that the problems can be nipped at the bud once and for all.
Well, this meeting is said to be an expanded national security meeting involving security chiefs and state governors as a whole, led by the chairman of the Governors Forum, that's John Kaide Fayemi. And when we are looking at the way Boko Haram they've been operating, and the way bandits have been killing people up north there, I think it's time that each of this region around the country, everybody, the 6 geopolitical zone, will actually take the bull by turn, the way the Southwest has decided to do with the launch of Amoteku by Ondo State.
Yes, I think at a point some of those governors felt this was the right thing to do, and the governors of the North Central, for example, harassed by bandits, felt the need for a regional security group. I heard the governor of Plateau State talk about it, but these issues are so easy to kind of politicize. So a lot of those governors are not so keen about regional security groups anymore. But even talking about the border closure and how Boko Haram still get weapons, our customs men are no match for Boko Haram if they want to bring in weapons.
At all.
In Sokoto State recently, bandits kidnapped customs men. I can tell you that in the northeast, many of the old customs outposts are deserted as we speak. Because if they get you there, they will deal with you.
What are they carrying?
People who are dealing with people who are killing soldiers.
The customs guys, they don't even carry AK-47. I think it's
no. They are allowed to carry. There's not all of them carry weapons, but they
I know they carry weapons, but it's not the.
What we are even saying, even soldiers carry superior weapons, but these guys go to their barracks to take them on.
What to talk of?
So if bandits can be kidnapping our customs men, they kidnap them in the Jibia area, and it's not the first time. So is it Boko Haram that will be coming with their weapons, that customs men will now stop them? I'm saying that in the northeast, many of the custom outposts have been deserted because of the possibility of attacks by Boko Haram. Yes, all of those, like Borno, all of those places that used to be custom outposts. But the truth is, they are deserted now. So how do they now stop those soldiers who are well armed? They take them on. Even up till yesterday, they still entered. They went like 3 kilometers to Maiduguri to go and attack soldiers. But our soldiers repelled them in the Jere area. They called the place. Let me see where they went to yesterday. They went to Gungulom. That was the place they went to last night on the outskirts of Maiduguri. That's about 3 kilometers to the town. In the past, they were not getting that close. So we are dealing with people who are prepared to die. They are prepared to take risk. So this is the situation. In Goza, also yesterday, they went to attack farmers on their farms. So this is the situation. It's a very terrible security situation that we found ourselves. I'm happy now that at least there's engagement. Maybe ultimately we'll be able to solve this problem. But governors are asking for bailout. I don't know if the president can find a bailout for them at this time. But the truth is, many governors have spent so much on security. And I think it was El-Rufai who was saying the other day during an interview that the governors of the Northwest came together and contributed 10 billion to support our security forces. 10 billion or so, either 8 million or 10 billion. So that's to tell you that security is the biggest problem we have now in our country, and is costing governments so much, costing the federal government so much, it's costing the state government so much. So we must find a way to solve this problem.
GKB, the governor of Ondo State inaugurated Amoteku Corps in Ondo State wants criminals to stay off. I think Governor Akeredolu has just blazed the trail after Amoteku was formally signed into law. GKB. Do we have GKB there?
Leave him.
Okay, I think GKB is struggling with his audio there. And Julie, this Amotekun thing, I thought it died down. And I just saw it yesterday. He was in uniform, looking like a military general. And they
call him the commander-in-chief of the Southwest Amotekun Corps.
Okay.
Because no governor in the Southwest has shown the kind of commitment that the man with the white beard in Ondo State has shown. No governor. And I'm very certain about it. No governor. Maybe because he almost got killed by criminal headsmen who laid ambush on the highway in Ondo State. So the governor feels the need. He has seen it before. He came close.
He was a victim.
Yes, to being a victim. His security man had to come down to repel those people. So you can imagine if it was just you and I, we don't carry assault weapons, and they come with high volume weapons. What are we going to do? So it's a good thing.
Obvious. When
I went to those states, I saw that he had bought so many motorcycles that will be supplied to the Amotekun Corps. This is what we want. Look, if they are aware that our roads are being policed, I can tell you that a lot of the kidnappings on our roads will end. But when you are traveling for many kilometers and you are just there, nobody, no presence of any form of policemen, no presence of soldiers, these guys will be bold enough to come to the road and kidnap people.
For us.
Yes, that's the thing. But it's a good thing that they have started. We hope that other Southwest governors will take a cue from him and do the needful. That's what we wish. It should not be politicized. Protect our people. It's a priority.
Wale Adoye, at the point that you had a summit on this, and are you encouraged with what you've seen so far? The Ondo State government blazing the trail. Okay, we having challenges to getting them, and now when we now come to this this arrangement, the governors will definitely need more fundings. We used to, Nigerians, when they want to abuse the governors, what are they doing with their security votes? Right now, that security vote is under pressure. You can imagine the state like Lagos State. Yes, the Lagos State, we have the trust fund and everything, but you can imagine the quantum, the amount the governor will be spending to augment whatever, the police.
When you give the example of Lagos, spare a thought for states like Katsina. Spare a thought for states like Zamfara. They are spending a whole lot. Some of those states have bought for the military, for the police, more than twice what some of their fellow state governors have bought. All because security is a big challenge to them, and they are desperate to solve the problem. So we just have to pity these governors that they want to do many things in the state. But security is eating into, yes, what should go into infrastructure in security.
Just imagine the kind of infrastructure Zulu might be building if Borno State is free from Boko Haram.
No, if you see, it cannot take development to every local government. The bulk of the Borno North, it cannot take development to. But the places that it can take to, we can see what he has done. There's no local government in Borno State that is completely safe. Not one. In so many cases, even in Borno South.
So that's
Borno South.
To hamper any form of development, any form of growth, any form of...
That is the thing. Even in Borno South.
And places that you even go to build infrastructure, you develop...
They come back and set a place.
Set the place.
Yes.
Wickedly.
Yes, they did that. They did that even in Guzamala local government. The local government of
brand new schools,
the local government of the Speaker of the state.
Okay,
the people
Goke
had to
is
run
calling
away.
us from Lagos. Thank you for joining us, Goke.
Yes, I'm okay.
Go ahead.
What I want to chip in is that what is going on in Nigeria now is that I want to see a change.
Go ahead.
I want to see a change in Nigeria.
Yes, we all
And
do.
the change is from like that. I mean that the Buhari administration. Maybe you know me very well. Gugadi Lakun, the writer of presidential gift. Gugadi Lakun, writer of presidential gift.
Please go ahead.
Yes. So the thing is this: let them start this door-to-door searching of firearms in the country. So we should go ahead and look for all these guns that is flying around. Even in Lagos too, they are not safe. Go around in Lagos, go around in Ogun State, go around in Ibadan, go around in Osogbo side. You see guns flying around. Even in Edo State too, here too, guns are just flying around. We need door-to-door searching in Nigeria, not only.
Thank you, Goke. Goke is talking about proliferation of arms around the country. GKB is back. GKB.
I'm back. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you. Please go ahead. What do you make of the establishment of Amotekun in Ondo State?
Well, I'm very happy that we are moving away from theory to practical now. Because for the last half year, what we've been hearing from the governors is that they are working on the laws to guide Amotekun in the Southwest. Obviously, about 3 out of the 6 states have done. Governments in the Southwest have already done the laws to guide Amotekun. So this is a good start for us. Actually, it's not the first time. Osun started their own about 6 months ago, and they've been very efficient in curbing the forest of Ilesha and its environs. So based on that reality, I think other governors in the zone should now buckle up and put to practice what they've been preaching for the last 1 year.
Yes, it's true. It's true. I think Osun started. My friend, comrade Amitolu Shitu, is the DG. Yes.
I'm aware that they've done some things, but it's just that the passion that Akeredolu brings into it is unparalleled. It's unparalleled, and is the one. Remember, he made a statement that he was prepared to lose his second term over this Amotekun thing. At that time, when the IG was trying to be a stumbling block, and then later on, the Attorney General of the Federation to tried to put a stumbling block on their way. He was the one who said, "Look, I'm ready to lose my second term over this Amotekun matter." So I'm really impressed with him. He's the leader of the Southwest governors. So he's showing leadership. If you can't show leadership at this level, then what kind of leader are you? He's showing leadership. Now we expect his colleagues to do something similar. They should not wait, because the nature of these criminals is if a place becomes too hot for them, they will move to the neighboring. That was how Katsina was not having problems. It was Zamfara. The moment Zamfara solved his problem, they moved into Katsina. And we were warning them. I was warning them that any operation that the army wanted to embark on, or the Air Force, those states, because they are contiguous in nature, you must spread it to all of those states. Now we are seeing them moving from Sokoto, moving from Zamfara to Sokoto, and then Katsina. So all of us must do this collectively. That is the way to go about it.
We'll take this break. When we come back, we'll talk more. It's still Journalist Hangout. Please stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back. So GKB or Wale, as we're looking at it now, should other regions, should they follow suit?
I think there is a need, like you said earlier, for us to have regional cooperation as far as security is concerned. We cannot keep pretending that the current structure is working. And that's why when Jide said governors were giving money to federal establishments, it is unconstitutional, because the constitution was very clear that only the federal government is in charge of security. And based on that, you cannot be giving money for roads and for schools and for hospitals to another arm of government to do the job they are employed to do. I think the time is right for us to do a constitutional amendment to allocate powers, especially security powers, to each region in such a manner that they will be paying for things they are responsible for. It's not fair, for example, for states to be paying for fuel for police. It's not fair for states to be paying for accommodation for the military. That's the job of federal government. If you want to give them their own police, give them their own police. Let them be responsible for it. If you want to be shaka, be shaka. If you want to be shoko, be shoko. Nobody should be doing shaka shoko all over the place. It's unconstitutional. Why we say it is necessary, it is not necessary. Let us go back to the drawing board, give us powers that will go to the states, give local government powers to work on the security at the local government level. And then we'll know where we are going. We keep pretending and we keep pushing forward the evil day. Sooner or later, local government chairman will start having their own version of Amotekun. And then where will it end? Unless we do constitutionally in such a way that everybody will be accountable for whatever they are spending. That's the way to go. Not all these tic-tacking that we are doing all over the place. Face the reality, break up the infrastructure of the military, give states power over the police, and let's see where we go from there.
Wale Ade, you've held several conferences and everything on Amotekun and this regional security outfits in your organization. And is this like a dream come true for you now?
Yeah, I think the important thing is that the governors stood their grounds because the momentum, of people that elected them, and even people that didn't elect them, the other political parties, was that the people wanted a security outfit that was indigenous, that understands the psychology of the people, the culture of the people, the geography of the people, and that has compassion, in terms of their commitment to put a stop to crime. So I think we should really commend the fact that the governors were able to stand their feet. But I'm also privileged to have seen the manual, the training manual, and I'm impressed because it talks about human rights. It talks about respect for the dignity of the human person, so that it's not an ethnic militia, but an organization that was set up to protect everyone living in Ondo State or any part of Southwest, irrespective of their religion, their ethnic background, or their creed. So I think this is, in a way, this is a very good development, but it's just a bus stop. It is not the final destination. Our hope is to see a situation where beyond this shadow, we are going to begin to see substance, whereby Nigeria will be restructured in a way that Amotekun can be integrated into regional or state police so that they can be funded by the federal government, they can be armed, they can have their command structure, and then they will be able to collaborate all the other efforts of the federal government so that to take the burden of the federal government so that we can have a situation where we are going to practice our security architecture will reflect the true spirit of federalism. So I think I commend what Akeredolu has done. It has always been very forthcoming right from the beginning, and we hope that other state governors will follow the good example that he has been able to lay down. And I hope that other regions, will also be able to follow the footsteps of the Southwest to set up security outfits, not for any other thing, but to protect the lives and property of everyone living in their region, irrespective of where they come from. So I think it's a very good development, and we hope that other regions will follow the example that has been set by Ondo State government.
No, Jide, to round off on this now, we've seen it. We know funding will become so critical. Days ahead, we see a lot of these guys, and we don't know, maybe they will come out in the ammunition, but we know that they are going to collaborate with the police. We know they are going to be working with the police. Yes. So how effective they are going to be at the end of the day, by this time, 6 months, we can say, yes, the purpose of establishing them has been achieved.
Well, when I interviewed the IG, he spoke at length about how they will work with Amotekun. So they will join the police on patrols, and in places where, in communities, small communities where there is no police presence, they will play a big part.
Yes.
Because we don't have police coverage of all our
Everywhere,
communities.
yes.
So
Talk about bandits
he
ravaging
said
places for several
also
hours.
that they will make arrest. They can make arrest, but they will hand over to the police so that the police can handle the prosecution. I don't expect anything to go wrong, and I know that these governors will have thought hard about how to find funding for this security outfit before they set it up. And you see even from the law that it took them a long time to determine exactly what they were going to do with this security outfit. So it's a new dawn, and I'm extremely pleased with Governor Akeredolu and the Osun State Governor too, for the efforts that they have made on Amotekun. May God bless them for their efforts.
And hopefully, no Governor Sheyi Makinde is also planning something.
Maybe he's planning something big. You know, he's a showman. Yeah. So he's probably going to do it in a very big way. So we are looking forward to that.
Launch. Okay, today's episode on Journalist Handwork Midweek Special is on an Ogun State-born Unilag trained chemical engineer, Ade Ogudeyin, who established a firm that specialized in manufacture of military tactical vehicles, popularly known as mine-resistant and ambush-protected MRAP. Babajide Kolade Otoju was at the factory located in the sleepy town of Oderemo in Ogun State, where the armored vehicles and bullet-proof vests are also manufactured. Watch this report.
The military tactical vehicles, famously known as mine resistance and ambush protected MRAP, were designed by the United States Army specifically to withstand improvised explosive device attacks and ambushes. Increased threat to the lives of U.S. troops caused the United States Department of Defense to deploy between 2007 and 2012 more than 12,000 MRAPs to Iraq and Afghanistan, where the superpower was involved in asymmetric warfare. But the USA Today reported in June 2008 that deaths of U.S. troops from IEDs and ambushes had reduced by 70% as a result of the deployment of MRAPs. In the sleepy town of Oderemo in Remo North local government area of Ogun State, a Nigerian, Ade Ogudeyin, produces MRAPs, other armored vehicles, and bulletproof vests. But how did Ogundeyin come up with this idea?
I was in my company in Kuwait. We actually had under the name Olakin Group, and I was just in my office when the gentleman came in and asked me whether we could be selling vehicles in Nigeria.
Selling vehicles?
Selling armored vehicles in Nigeria.
Okay.
And I felt no, we would not sell armored vehicles. I went to look at their plant in Kuwait. I saw the armored Land Cruisers they were producing during the Gulf War. I tried to talk to them on partnership in Nigeria. They disappointed us. They were Colombians. They disappointed us. And eventually, what happened? Their company folded up within 3 months. And every single staff of theirs I brought into Nigeria. And we started off in Nigeria.
I was ushered into the plant to see how MRAPs are made.
Sorry, we didn't want to go through that. Came up, all of us.
Outside the plant, it was time to see what the belly of the MRAP looks like.
Directly opposite.
Okay.
So you can
So the
fire
bomb pods.
directly, yes, directly opposite.
In addition to the turret gunner, who is able to scan an area for threats, the vehicle also has a 360-degree camera. Ogundeyin wanted me to witness the drive tests for 2 of the vehicles that were built to be delivered to the Nigerian Army in just a matter of days. though the MRAP, named Ara, which means thunder in Yoruba, has a high center of gravity. Its stability and maneuverability are remarkable. It weighs 15 tons, yet it can reach speed of 120 km per hour on road and 110 km per hour off-road. It has run flat tires, which enables it to travel for 50 kilometers, even when the tires are fired at.
Majority of these MRAPs that you see out there, the majority of them have overheating issues. Majority of them they don't have run flat tires. They don't have the things that will make our own men comfortable. No. So that is why sometimes you see them abandoning some of our MRAPs. But with our own MRAP, that doesn't happen. These ones that we have here are going to be delivered to Nigerian Army. And I can assure you, our MRAPs have been battle tested. They have been battle tested in the Northeast. They have been fired times without number. They have been able to withstand
the test of time.
Yeah, the test of time. And of course, when it comes to maintenance, the good thing about Nigerian Army now, I must tell you, under General Buratai, is that as they are ordering for the MRAPs, they order for the spare parts that would go with the 5 MRAPs, which is excellent. So they don't have a problem with spare parts.
There is always the tendency to underrate anything made in Nigeria, but Proforce's business development manager says that notion is gradually changing, given what they have achieved with ARA and other products of Proforce.
Basically, I think the challenge a lot of people have is just the perception about Nigeria that nothing good comes from Nigeria. But what I have been able to do over time is to at least give them an idea of what we do. So I give you the brochure, I ask you to go to the website, you see what the factory looks like from the website.
As expected, business is always going to be difficult in Nigeria.
A lot of challenges are there, like power. You don't have power available, you have to generate your own power. You don't have, like a company that deal with a lot of parts that we have to import. There are lots of challenge in terms of accessing forest. You want to import items, critical parts from abroad. You have to go to black market at very ridiculous rate. So that's making business very difficult to do.
In spite of the difficulties that come with doing business in Nigeria, Ogunde is determined to trudge on. He says Nigerian government at all levels have no business importing any kind of armored vehicle, arguing that the ones produced here are better, stronger, have no overheating issues, and the spare parts are readily available. He is happy to have countries like Chad, Niger, and Rwanda as his clients.
As of now, we produce the vehicles for Chad, Republic of Chad, which is excellent. Most of the things you see here are going to Republic of Chad. For them to have even looked and approved that Proforce should be the company to build their vehicle, you must know that they know what they are doing, number one. Number two, we should all agree, we will all agree that they have concluded and they are confident that ARA is the best of all the MRAPs in this environment.
Ayobami Ogunde, the young Cardiff-trained mechanical engineer, is the company's head of operations. He speaks on where he expects to see Proforce in 5 years.
So as you can see, from our PF2 to our ARA to the Wizard, each and every one of them, our staff has been trained specifically for the jobs. So with that, they're able to produce the best that they can. As well as being able to be trained inside the factory, we also send them abroad for training as well. We also send them domestically for training as well. And through that, we're increasing our capacity locally, as well as giving the people around this area hope that they can actually get a job in a top-class company such as Proforce. In 5 years' time, I believe that it will be a company that is truly on the international stage. As you can see, we already have exports that are going to other countries such as Chad, Niger, as well as Sahel countries. Now, in 5 years' time, I believe that a Proforce vehicle will be in every African nation. A Proforce vehicle will also be used on the international scale to fight against terrorism, not just here in Africa, domestically for us.
This is ARA, a mine resistance and ambush protected vehicle designed and built by Proforce, a Nigerian company, to assist Nigerian troops in the war against terror in the northeast and other parts of Nigeria. This vehicle has a height of 3.4 meters. Its engine is 400 horsepower. Its underbelly can withstand and deflect explosives weighing as much as 10 kilograms. The camera is 360 degrees. It has twin fuel tanks. These twin fuel tanks take 440 liters, which means that this vehicle can run for 1,200 kilometers without a need for refueling. This is proof that when Nigerians make up their minds that they want to do something, the can-do spirit takes them to limitless regions. ARA is a Nigerian success story.
Babajide Kolade Otutoju, TVC News, Odiremo, Ogun State.
Wow, that's mind-blowing, mind-blowing. I used to know of, I thought it was innocence that was, running a monopoly of this kind of thing in Nigeria, not knowing that Proforce is also there. In Odiremo here in
just
Ogun
after
State.
Shagam, to your right. You won't know that something like this is there. And he has also built a staff quarters so that the staff can concentrate. They don't need to live far away. They are working 24 hours. And they also do bulletproof vests and other things. It makes me happy to hear that the Chadians have requested for 100 units
of this
MRAP. 100 units. You know what it means. They are going to save money rather than import from abroad.
Yes, they will drive it.
They will drive it to deliver. So
and they will also employ our own.
The spares are available.
People.
Yes, our people are employed. It's an opportunity. And look at the way it happened for him. They offered him the opportunity to come and sell. He was working, he was a cleaner based in Kuwait. After graduating here at Unilag, he was a cleaner. Then he saw that opportunity. Fortunately for him, the company folded up. Immediately they folded up, he went there, got all their staff, brought them to Nigeria to do this, because that was what the company was doing. He wanted a partnership, they declined. Then,
so when the company
when they now folded up, he said, "Oh, you people didn't want to do partnership with me. Now you folded up." He brought their staff to Nigeria and they set this up. He's been contacted now to build a military industrial plant for an African country that I don't want to mention. You see, Nigerians are unbelievable. If you see what Nigerians are doing in many countries of the world, you won't even believe.
You're talking about creating an enabling environment.
Yes.
This will thrive.
Now you can imagine it is working on having 50% of the spares made here in Nigeria. 60% of the spares of the raw material for this MRAP is ballistic steel, which is imported.
Just imagine.
But right now, they now have a dump site, an iron ore dump site in Kogi State,
Just imagine
which will be used.
Ajakuta is working.
Yes, which will be used to produce ballistic steel. So once they are able to produce ballistic steel, 60% of what they
do less importation.
Yes,
and it will save his
hand foreign exchange. I know that's all, and we'll be able to also even produce more. You understand? It takes 4 months to produce a vehicle. So it's not easy at all.
GKB, Proforce, what can you say about this big company?
Well, this is another success story coming from Nigerians. It's a confirmation of the fact that Nigeria is a country of inexhaustible talents in almost every aspect of human endeavor. With the right leadership, it's another confirmation that Nigeria can indeed rule the world. What this gentleman has done, from what I've read about it, can compete favorably with MRAP that are produced in South Africa. And in fact, those produced in the United States. If you look at the, all the gadgets and accessories. So it tells us that, apart from the fact that it offers us an indigenous opportunity to explore the process of raising arms and armament locally, it also a source of economic boom. In South Africa, the MR, that is, they call it R6, is about $470,000 just per one. I don't know how much the one that is being produced out of Derema will cost. But if we are producing about 100 of these tactical military vehicles, I can tell you that in 1 year, it can generate what the entire Ogun State generate as internal, it can swallow the IGR, the entire Ogun State.
Yes.
So my opinion is that this dream must not be allowed to die because it's not as if we are lacking precedents. There have been very great examples. If you remember what Professor Ayodele Awujobi did, the autonomous vehicle that he developed, that can go, that is a kind of a vehicle with two steering. Then you talk of people like Philip Emeagwali, you talk of people like Ndubise Isekwele that have produced so many. When you go to our University of Lagos,
GKB,
go to the engineering department, you will see a lot of inventions.
Our time is fast, but GKB, let me have your intervention on this.
I'm also very glad that the good old investigative journalism is back, because in the last few years we spent our time talking about politics and politicians. So it is a thing of joy that we are now concentrating on Nigerians who are making a difference in terms of technology and in terms of investment. I commend the young woman for what he's done, and I want to also commend every other Nigerian that had the opportunity to sell us out, but prefer to come back home and we have no other country for this one. Everybody in Africa still look up to us, and leadership we shall provide. All things being equal.
Ayo, you know, around the time when we gained independence, we were on the same level with countries like India, countries
Brazil.
like Singapore, Brazil,
Argentina.
Malaysia, all of those countries. At that time, we had what you call Defense Industries Corporation. Later, our Defense Industries Corporation was supposed to be producing weapons for war.
Hardware.
It became a place where they produce furniture. Today, you don't know where we will have been if we are continued at that pace.
Yes.
So I'm happy.
That Brazil is building the luxury buses today.
Even this Tucano originates from Brazil.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
It's original. Yes.
Super
Yes.
Tucano.
So this is the thing. We need to explore our potential to the fullest. We can be greater than this as a country. We can be greater. This is the proof. We can be greater.
And that's an exclusive from the Current Affairs Department of TVC News. And then we have to thank Babajide Otitoju for this expose. It's very, very, it's like a kind of eye-opener. We all thought Innocent was just on his world of his own there, not knowing that this...
100 units for Chad.
What's his
significant.
Name? Engineer Ade Ogundeyin. Ade Ogundeyin, an alumnus of University of Lagos. Nice one. Nice one.
He was raving about his school. So best school in the world. And best. I wanted to tell him to stop.
Osioba Gani Kayode Balogun GKB, thank you for your intervention today. And Wale Adoye, thank you for your contribution today. And the maestro himself, Babajide Kolade Otitoju. And that's our offering today. Join us tomorrow for another episode of the program. You can also watch Journalist Hangout on our platforms showing on the screen. You can also watch us on YouTube, youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. Our feedback channel is at Journalist Hangout at tvcnews.tv. I'm Ayodele Uzubakun. Bye for now and see you tomorrow. God bless Nigeria.